How's everybody doing? This retrograde is well, you know what it does. I gotta tell you, you already know what it does. Come on, come on. Well, it's Friday, and I'm gonna go uh, downtown, and probably fly out to DC either today. You know, the flight leaves at 5:36, and the airport here in Phoenix is very, very close. And it's part of my caravan campaign. I forgot the micro. So now I have to adjust this again. It's fixed. It's damn looks crazy. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you can hear me better. So yes, so I'm gonna go to DC. If any of you are in the DC area tonight, let me know. Call me for a reading. Once you confirm the payment in CashApp or ZELLE, I'll give you the address. I'm gonna announce the address for some knuckleheads to come and try to be funny. I got enemies and hitmen out there. Uh, Today I want to talk about the ego. I want to talk about the ego. I don't like what I'm seeing with tarot card readers on YouTube, where they make reference to the ego. Oh, he's in his ego, or they're in their ego. Um, it's giving a connotation that the ego is bad, all around bad. Oh, but why did he do this? Why did he take this from this person? Oh, why did he betray him? Oh, this person, he was in his ego. They're in their ego. Tarot card readers that use that word are not saying anything. Because, but what you are fostering many tarot card readers. You will never hear me use the word ego. Never. And to use it so loosely, as if the ego has been relegated to being a negative experience, a negative faction of the human condition, that it is perceived as something negative. And that is an injustice to the term ego. Because the ego is far more complex than these readers know or even understand. Uh, it's a form of laziness. You say, oh, they're in the ego, but you don't explain what you mean by that. Obviously, someone is involved in a low energy behavior, but you need to, as a reader, describe what that behavior is. You just don't relegate it to ego, because then you're demonizing the whole ego, and that's ignorant, irresponsible, and an injustice to the uh, faculty and concept of the ego. So, I could give a shit what these readers think about me. You all know me. I don't care. Don't care. Don't waste your time. Don't care. What I do care is how people use the rightful way certain keys and certain principles. If you're going to take the position of a tarot card reader, now, know that when many of you are doing collective readings and you use the term ego to describe something, we don't know what it is, we don't know what you mean, and it falls flat and it means absolutely nothing. When I read, you never hear me use the word ego. It doesn't belong in the reading. Unless there's something specific in behavior, and that has to be explained. You just cannot relegate it to ego, ego. No, because it's taken away from the virtues of ego. Without the ego, the soul cannot progress. Did you know that? There are three parts to the ego, and all three, including the lower nature, is connected to spirit and soul. So the soul, just like spirit, has to have a vehicle in which to express itself. And it does it through the ego. The ego is in the solar plexus. Well, in occult philosophy, the ego is in the blood. The ego is in the blood. That's how deep the concept of the ego is. No tarot card reader is going to know this because you're not an occultist or you're not initiated into the mysteries. But then you get real download about what the ego is. It is not just an expression of something negative. And I know what these tarot card readers are saying. The person was in their ego, what is in their lower nature. You have to describe what that is. You have to. Because then those who are watching you are getting a negative connotation about the ego, which they can connect to themselves. That's the danger. The ego is not bad. It is important, necessary, or the gods will not have created the ego. But it has to be a certain level of reverence and respect when you use the term ego. You just don't throw it around. Oh, he's in ego, 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 and not explain what you're talking about. Okay? So that is one thing I wanted to say about the ego. It's very important. Like all polarities in nature, there's a good and a bad. And if you're going to reference the ego from its bad connotation, you're going to have to explain what you mean. Don't just throw the word ego and make it a generic statement of bad behavior. You have to describe what that bad behavior is. Or saying ego doesn't mean anything. I just want you to be a better and more informed tarot card reader. You tend to single you out or be personal. That's why I don't mention no names, no sites, because they all do it, and it's basically the young ones, right? And that's all I have to say. Uh, I will be doing readings, personal readings. Let me see who's here. Do a little chat, right? I like this, Brenda God Girl. I like astrology more, but it's all part of it though. Professor A, don't you have to work with spirits to do tarot cards? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Lena's heart. Egotistical is narcissistic, is the soul's experience, and expression. Lena's heart. The ego is the soul's experience and expression. Monica Sanchez, their helpful words in the ego is the soul's experience and expression. When you say expression, we of course say vehicle. The ego is a vehicle for expression and records experience. So you're right on the mark. But you never get that when these people you throw that word loosely. Ego, ego, not realizing what they're doing. But that's very good, Lena. I'm glad. I love that. I love that. I'm gonna use it, Lena. Bring the girl. Thank you. Thank you for loving my videos. Wishing you safe travels. Thank you. Uh, thank you for agreeing because it's true. Well, yeah. Someone said, don't you have to work with spirits to do tarot? They're not spirits. They're archons. It's in the word tarot. Major archon and the minor arcana. It's in the language. You can't do tarot card reading if you don't have these archons talking to you. Oh God, there are many tarot card readers that go under intellectual bent because many of them are not receptive to beings talking to them, giving them information that goes through the cards. There are people who don't believe that at all. And they focus on the image, the numbers, the colors, and it's purely intellectual. But it will never, never be accurate because this is not have anything to do with intellect. It parallels it, but the keys that you really want to know when it comes to the truth behind tarot will be close to you if you're not open spiritually towards it. And that means communicating with certain energies, entities, beings that the intellect cannot grasp. Lena, you in DC, we gotta see each other. Love the purple shirt is giving royalty. Well, I am. Thank you, I love it. I'm gonna put on another shirt to go with my dress pants when I go to DC. Vanetta Sutton, I'm good. I'm good. Uh-huh. Any questions you have may have now, you are welcome to, oops, you're welcome to ask now that you have me here on the chat. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dragons, Florence says, as long as we are alive, we live in the ego. That's correct. That's correct. Yes, very good, Dragons, Florence. Blue, hello, how are you? Thought forms of the unconscious. Well, what do you mean by that? Because that's a whole different philosophy separate from the ego. But it all overlaps, interwoven. But there are certain principles that are exclusive to the ego and independent of any other uh, philosophy that doesn't pertain to ego. Look, if you don't have archons, then we'll owning debts bring harm, but the problem is that there is archons. There is archon. Even if you could have a deck of cards right here, the deck of cards. Each key has an archon to it, or you won't be able to read. So it's not if you don't have archons, you do have them. And yes, the decks can be harmful to you if you do not know what they are, if you do not know how to use them. And if you're not born to do this, and it's a game, yes, it can become harmful. The archangels, see that kind of question, young Ra, they are good ones and they are bad ones. That's nature. Lila Crisili, Fiona, can you explain archons from your perspective? Thank you. I already have. I already have. And then tons of video discussing them. There's more about them that I probably can't put on YouTube. You're gonna have to go to Patreon and see them. And I haven't uploaded them yet, but I will at some point tonight. Probably while I'm on the plane, I'm about to see. Rizzler, so now how do you calculate your natural selection chart? That's not something that I can discuss in a few minutes here. And I've never done one. I've read about it, learned about it, but I've never done it. It never was my interest. So I have to research it, and so will you, to answer that question. Monica Sanchez, do you believe in Gnosticism, Fernando? I've had to study it. Of course I do. You can't do what I do without studying Gnosticism. I cannot know the Bible the way I do without studying Gnosticism. The Gnostics, of course. It's all together. It's all part of it. How are you doing all those storms in Texas a few weeks ago? It was terrible. It was a nightmare. And I almost died in one of those storms. That's what I did tell you. Almost died. And I love Houston. It gave me a lot of pain to leave it, but I had to. Lena's heart. What do you feel about the Lionsgate? Uh, I try to find correlations. I don't see them. Last August 8th was no different than this August 8th. So I don't see the hype. I don't see the correlation at all. I'm still trying to figure it out. Many people rave over it, but to me, it's an uneventful event. A day that it comes and goes. There was nothing special, nothing new, nothing. It was. So I don't know what it is. I never heard of it in my studies until I got older, much much older. So I don't know what it is, and nobody seems to know what it is either. Oh yes, but I left. When before the hurricane hit, I got out of there. I took a flight the next morning and went to Arizona. Yeah, the storm in Texas was awful, just awful. I have friends that died, neighbors that died. That beautiful apartment I got with the two bedrooms, another was destroyed. Just I lost two apartments in Houston. Blue, thank you. Alexandra, how are you? Uncle, I have out of bounds Jupiter. What does that mean? That again, that's something that cannot be discussed in a few minutes, and I'm going to need the full birth chart to integrate it to see out of bounds. I mean, that could mean anything. And if you talk to me about aspects to Jupiter, I might be able to answer. But the term out of bounds, that terminology and that vocabulary is not used in astrology. So I don't know the reference in which you mean it. Anna Roa, RW. Hi, Fernando. Will you now continue the female sensuality series? Oh, no, no, no. I love them. Absolutely love them. But I still have a copycat that's stealing my content and using it. So I spread it out. I have to until we got 13 copycats, and seven have been like arraigned and I'm pressing charges. But the biggest one is my twin brother. Now I think he's dead now. But the Queen of Wands in the reverse and other coven groups are still trying to um, benefit off my content. And I mean I don't want to give them these jewels for them to take it and make money off the top. So it's an issue. It's an issue. And YouTube doesn't seem to do anything about it. Nothing about it. Nothing about it. I have to get the lawyers. I have to go outside of YouTube and fight to change it. But YouTube does nothing for you. It's almost like it's an inside job. It's almost like they endorse that kind of stuff. Young Ra, love from the Bronx, the Boogie Down Bronx. I love me the Bronx. Redbone Voodoo Dolly Doll. Trump 2024. Yes, he's gonna win. Straight out of the line will keep to 790. Uh, you're amazing. You're more amazing. Thank you. Clubhead, how much he charged for a question read? I don't charge for a question. If you have your question, ask it now. Lena's heart. Are archons thought forms from the past subconscious? No, they're real entities. I'm in Texas. Rizzler. Fernando, who will win the election? Trump will. Ideal. Lionsgate souls like it's just a belief. Please change your hair. It's a mess. Oh, I like my hair just the way it is. It serves as an antenna for downloads. Tell me what you know about stargates. Too much information in a few minutes. You have to call me separately or pay for that to me to give you the certain things, certain information about that. Clubhead, change your name. Redbone is weak. Alex Etheridge. All comes from Nag Hammadi are the invaders of Earth. Not just them, there's far more. Yes, we've passed 13 copycats. Alex Etheridge. Tell us how they are the created from the creation story in the Bible, not God. You're hitting on something there. It is God, but it's not the true God. It's not the real God. It's the demiurge, imposter God, Saturn, or Jehovah, or any other the name that he comes by. What if you have a midheaven in the ninth house? or the 11th house. I would love to learn how to interpret it. And it cannot be done without the full birth chart and the degrees and aspects. It cannot be done here. That's why I don't talk about astrology or birth chart because it's not a conversation that should be had in the chat. Because the questions that you guys ask are very complex and it's impossible to answer them accurately without having your birth chart, without being charted, and to see the homogeneity of how it all fits. To take it in pockets of isolation, it's not going to do you any good. It's not going to give you the insight that you think you want. Storm 85, dear, thank you. Yes, I believe in Gnostics. Of course I do. I wouldn't know the Bible the way I do if I didn't. It's all connected. It may be for some charts, it may not be for other charts. Mars conjunct Neptune in the ninth house. I've heard this is the hooker aspect. Where did you hear this from? Do you have the resources of information in which you got that from? I don't know if it's true. I never heard of it, never encountered it in any of my studies. So always provide where you got the information so that I can research it and make sure that you're not being led astray. And even if it was a hooker, it probably will be unique to that birth chart and that individual, not you. Because every chart is different. Thank you, thank you. I like to think I'm still a little handsome. I like to think that, despite what I've gone through in my teeth and mouth and eyes and all that shit. And of course, I'm missing half an earlobe. Uh, Benefits, boss says, I love Uncle. I heard an astrology say Scorpio, Virgo, Aries will not find the love they want in this lifetime. That's very true. One is closed off, which is Scorpio, and one is too shy to even look at themselves honestly. That's Virgo. And Aries just lives life so fast that he doesn't have time to stop and smell the roses. So you're right about that. Yes, I am glad I got my reading glasses too. I do. Clubheads. Okay, I read your question. You want to know if you're going to be with her? That's for her. Oh, she sounds wonderful. Delicious. All right. Ooh, it's rough, Clubhead. It's rough. I don't see this as a goal. Not forever. Being together forever? No. Uh, Make sure that you maintain your health and make sure that she maintains her health. Because I see a little bit of illness here, and that can put a stop to it. But if the love is strong, it should transcend it. And when you say that you want a future with her, that's a very general statement. What kind of future do you mean? These things have to be spelled out.